The purpose of this video is to provide information on and answer questions about the graduate certification programs, the elementary education graduate certification programs. So first of all, there are 4 options, which include the K-6 alternate route standalone certificate, the K-6 alternate route with Master of Arts in Teaching degree, the K-6 post-baccalaureate standalone certificate, and the K-6 Master of Arts in Teaching, which is a traditional route program. So let's take a look at each of these. First of all, the alternate route certification, for this, a candidate is working as a full-time teacher. So they're hired in their own classroom and we observe them in their classroom. This is a 30-credit program. The alternate route plus MAT degree program is the same as far as the certification portion goes. The teacher candidate or the teacher works as a full-time teacher in their own classroom, but this does include the master's thesis. This is 33 credits. One of the 3 credit courses of the 2-course MAT capstone replaces one of the courses in the alternate route. So that's only 33. We also have a traditional certification, or call it the post-baccalaureate, and that includes a student teaching internship. The traditional MAT degree also includes a student teaching internship, a residency, and that also includes the 6-credit 2-course master's thesis capstone. So how does the program run? This program is 100% asynchronous online, except, of course, the field work, whether that be your job as a teacher or your student teaching residency placement. The courses are offered through WP Online, which is the asynchronous online arm of William Paterson University. Courses are all 7-week asynchronous online. The course sequence is flexible, so there's multiple program entry points. You're able to enter at basically any point in the 6 semester options, the 6-7-week semester options. As far as the program, what does it include? It is 7 courses or 21 credits of content and pedagogy, and that's for all the programs. And then there's also clinical or field-based work. So depending on the program, 2 to 3 courses of clinical or field-based work. In terms of the duration, the traditional route certificate, the standalone certificate, can be completed in as little as 15 months. With the addition of the MAT capstones, this can be completed within 2 years. All alternate route programs must be at least 2 years in length per state code, so you cannot move through it more quickly. Like if you take classes, a bunch of classes at once, the state requires that an alternate route program be at least 2 years long. So what do we mean when we say clinical or field-based work? So for the alternate route certificate, and that includes the alternate route MAT, there are 2 semesters of seminar and supervision in which we observe you in your job, in your classroom, in your job as teacher of record. I want to bring your attention to this asterisk, indicating that in some districts, positions as paraprofessional or long-term substitute might be considered an appropriate job for the alternate route. It is generally a job as teacher of record, but if you are working as a para or a long-term sub, I encourage you to speak to the COE graduate coordinator about your specific circumstance. In the post-bac certification program, the traditional route certificate program, there's clinical practice and seminar 1 and 2. We observe you in your student teaching placement. We place you in a partner school and we observe you there. The post-bac certificate program also includes a 3-credit, 50-hour preclinical experience, basically observations in a participating special needs school, which is a state requirement. And then to add the MAT degree, candidates take 2 master's capstone courses. So just some more information on the alternate route. The alternate route allows qualified candidates to take a job as teacher while going through the teacher preparation program. So it's not having to get your license beforehand, but rather earning your license while you are working as a teacher. Supervisors from the university, as well as mentors from the school in which you're working, provide support as you're working under this provisional license, basically a CE. So in order to engage in the alternate route, you have to first earn a CE, a certificate of eligibility, from the NJDOE. The requirements for the CE include a completed bachelor's degree, and you can have either majored in a liberal arts area, such as history, English, math, science, etc. Or if you didn't major in a liberal art, you need to have had at least 60 credits of liberal arts. Keep in mind that the state determines whether or not you have the 60 credits of liberal arts. So you'd have to have them review to confirm whether or not you have the 60 credits, if there's any ambiguity there. Note that if you wanted to add a 5/8 subject area CE so that you can work in a middle school, you have to have 15 credits in that subject area. Okay, you also need a GPA of 3.0 or above, unless you graduated before 2016, when the required GPA was 2.75 or above. So when you submit your materials to the state, if you have a GPA 2.75 or above and you graduated, then the state will consider that requirement met. You also must pass all subtests of the Praxis Elementary Education Multiple Subjects Test. Here is the test number 5001, although each of the subtests have their own number separately than this umbrella number. And again, if you want to add the middle school subject area, you have to also pass that middle school subject area test. Okay, some people come and ask about getting a CE, but not meeting all of the requirements for a CE. For example, they may not have the GPA, or their major or coursework might not meet the liberal arts requirement. So the state has presented an option of earning a limited CE. The limited CE allows candidates to waive one of those three requirements, either the course subject matter, so those liberal arts credits, the 3.0 GPA, or the Praxis content knowledge exam. If you wanted to pursue this option, you must take the Praxis core or otherwise meet the basic skills requirement. And if you go to the NJDOE website and do a search under basic skills, you'll find those cut scores on the ACT or SAT, which can also help you meet the basic skills requirement. Note that only certain schools participate in the limited CE program. So if you go to the NJDOE website and do a search for limited CE, you'll get to a page that includes a link of the participating schools. So you applied, you got your CE, what's next? Once the CE is in hand, you are now eligible to be hired as a full-time teacher by a school. You must seek this job on your own, pursue employment, look for a job on your own. William Paterson is not involved in the hiring process, and we don't help you get the job. You are seeking a job on your own. Once you have the CE and you're hired as a teacher, you are eligible to begin the alternate route program. The hiring school will enroll you in what's called the Provisional Teacher Licensure Program, and this basically links your CE job and the alternate route program so that you are working towards earning the standard license. In order to do this, the state does require that you take a 50-hour pre-professional module in order to begin your teaching job. So this needs to coincide with you starting your job. We do offer that 50-hour pre-professional module year-round. And the person who you should reach out to for that is Dr. Dobrik. You can see her email here, dobrik@wpunj.edu, if you need to do your 50 hours. Everybody needs to. So if you haven't yet, you need to do that. Reach out to her. Okay, so what about for the post-bac or MAT, traditional route programs? So the requirements are pretty much the same. You need either the major or 60 credits in liberal arts. And again, if you want to eventually pursue the middle school subject area CE, you need to have 15 credits in the subject area. The GPA must be a 3.0, and that's even if you graduated before 2016. Admission requirements for the traditional program is a 3.0. But if your GPA was below a 3.0, speak to the graduate coordinator because we do grant appeals as long as the other requirements are met. And again, you need to pass the elementary education multiple subjects praxis. And then if you want to eventually earn the 5.8 endorsement, you need to take that test as well. Okay, as far as what student teaching entails, if you are going to do this traditional program where you are a student teacher or a resident, we place you in a partner school and you complete a 1-year supervised residency. Our Office of Field Experiences places you with, the goal of trying to place you in a school that is geographically friendly, close enough to home. We do our best to do that. You have 2 clinical internships and seminars. It's clinical internship 1 and 2. During clinical internship 1, you are in your school placement 3 days a week. And then in part 2, you are in the placement for 5 full days a week. It's full time for the second semester. And with each of these, there's an asynchronous seminar, which is meant to support you. And we provide additional materials during that time. Plus, you get a chance to work with your fellow students, have discussions. Okay, and the certificate versus MAT program, I've been discussing this quite a bit. So the graduate teaching certificate programs, these are all certificate programs in that they lead to state licensure in K-6. With the Master of Arts, you are just adding 2 courses to turn the certificate into an MAT program. So the 2 MAT capstone courses must be completed after the supervised field work. They also must be taken sequentially. And as described in the alternate route program, one of these 2 courses replaces a course in the certificate program. So for the alternate route, it's only 33 credits to do the MAT. A lot of people ask about pursuing the special education endorsement, the Teacher of Students with Disabilities certificate. We do not have a program, which is a combination of the MAT teacher license certificate program combined with the TSD endorsement program. However, it's quite straightforward to add the TSD endorsement. Once you complete the licensure program, again, whether that be a certificate program or the MAT, once you complete that, you can enter our Teacher of Students with Disabilities graduate certificate program starting the following semester, the semester after you complete. It's a separate program, the TSD graduate certificate program. So you have to reapply for that program once you complete the licensure program. And it's really common. Many of our students complete the MAT or certificate program and then pursue the TSD certificate while teaching. So that is the information in a nutshell. I have provided some websites here for additional information. These are also all available on the PDF version of this FAQ. Thank you for your interest.